مسخر Avodah Zarah Daf Mem Amud Aleph, 40 lines down. Amarav Beruna Amarav. كربلاء غيم عبارة عن إن كحين إلا من خير. The innards of the fish and their eggs can only be bought from an expert who knows that it's kosher. Whereas all up, Rami لعول دربي دستايد من بيري. Mide Kamarav Kirveda Ghim Ubaran and Kahin Ella Min Khayr. From the fact that Rav said that the innards and the baby and the eggs can only be bought from expert that we see from there, Michlal, the dag tame itli. That means you're trying to differentiate from non-kosher fish and their eggs. The problem is, meaning stila, dag tame mashritz, dag tahor matil lesim. This Brita says that a non-kosher fish has, when it gives birth to actual fish, and kosher fish give birth to eggs. Stila, the Gemara says, Sami mikanu baran, according to this guy, he says, remove the word the eggs, fix everything. Amar le Rabbi Zera. Lo testamento don't erase it. Teva u'mitli betzim both can produce eggs. Ela shezem hashritz v'chutz. The kosher fish gives birth with the eggs outside. V'zem hashritz b'fnim. The non-kosher fish has the eggs inside and then it hatches inside. Whereas lama le'yum m'ches. So why do I need an expert? Lives up b'smanin. Go check if they have the signs of a kosher egg. The Tanna, but it says, "Kisimane betzim kach simne dagim." The same way you have the signs of eggs, the same way you have the same signs of the fish. What does that mean? Simne dagim says datach. What do you mean? How does the eggs have the sign of a fish? Simne dagim says you know that the fins and scales are the fish. How would that be in an egg? Ella must be kisimane betzim kach kisimane obre dagim. The signs of a bird eggs are the same sign of the egg of a fish. Be'elas me'abetzim, how you know kosher bird eggs? Kosher koderet v'agugalet, any egg that narrows at the top and round at the sides. Rosha ehad kad v'rosha ehad had. One side is flat, one side is pointed, so that's kosher. Shnei Roshei Hadin, if both sides are pointed. Shnei Roshei Hakadin, both sides are flat. Tme'as non-kosher. Halbon b'chutz v'halbon b'fnim, if the yolks on the outside and the whites on the inside. Tme'as non-kosher. Halbon b'chutz v'halbon b'fnim, if the whites on the outside and the yellows on the inside. Tahar is kosher. Halbon v'halbon b'fnim, if it's mixed together. Zui b'tzal sheretz, this refers to the egg of a sheretz. This is one of the, like a crowing creature. So we see that the Martha says that the egg of a fish is the same shape of a bird egg. So we need an expert for it. Martha said, "Marava kishinimoho." True, but in Tomar case where the egg has dissolved and you can't tell what's what, then you need the expert. Rabbi decide the min biri damar. Something mikano bran. According to him, who said that you can erase the word eggs. Vatanya Berta says, "Kisimane bitzim kasmene avaridagim." What does he do with that Braita? It says that you could compare the sizes and the shape of the eggs to bird eggs. We see from there that non-kosher fish do have eggs. Gemara says, "Lav tarutze metar stela." We obviously had to fix the Braita. We fixed the following: Kach siman kevet dagim. That's the sign of the innards of the fish. How do you have that, right? We said that the pointy and stuff is referring to the innards, not the actual egg itself. And what does that mean that it's pointy innards? Mishkah hadad b'shlifuta is refers to the bladder inside the fish. If it's pointy or narrow, that's the siman. Okay. What if you no expert? What do you do? Once the Jewish seller who says he's selling these fishes, I sold them and I saw they were kosher before I took out the innards. It's not kosher until the guy says this is the fish and these are the innards. I took it out myself. Ravida said that for the caterer Ada, once that guy said that he salted them himself, it's kosher. Okay, next part of Mishnah. Ve'ala shel hitit. The hitit leaf is kosher even because he didn't cut it with a knife yet. The Gemara says pshita, of course. The Gemara says no. Referring to even when there's grains on top of the leaf. Maybe you might thought that maybe he brought grains that were cut and mixed it with the grains that were still in the leaf. Therefore, it teaches you they may have slipped out and that's why they're loose, not because they were swapped with cut ones. Okay. Next part of Mishnah. He said cakes of soft olives mutar also. Tomorrow says pita. Why not? No. The Hidush is that it's needed to teach you even if they're super soft. Ma'arutim, you might think Hamra Rama Bahu. The reason why they're super soft is because the goy put wine in it. Kamashlan, therefore we say Hanin Ahmak Mishcha Udrafik. It must be we say that rather not because it's wine, but probably because the olive oil is making it soft. The rest of Omer Shalachina Surin, the rest is that it's super soft Zasur. Hey, Hidali Tafid. What does it mean super soft? He says it's so soft that it might be wine in it. What does it mean super soft? We don't any olive that if you hold it in your hand, then the pit falls out. That's considered super soft. Okay, next part of Mishnah. The grasshoppers that come from the shopkeepers like table by the baskets, asur. Tanamran. Grasshoppers, the shells that cover the berries and the leeks. That come straight from the storage, from this pile or from the boat. Mutrin or mutar. We can never think they're asur. And Mutarim because I mean, if they're being sold in the market, Asurin or Asur Mipnishim is living on the community, put wine on top to keep it fresh. Also the apple cider of Goyim. Habaim mina outside mina tiftek mina slav like straight from the storage or the stock or the pile or the basket, Mutarim and Mutar. And in Kabir Kabir Asur, but it's in the market, Asur, and Mipnishim Arvin Beyan because you might have put wine to keep it fresh. Tamaram. Pamahat Hash Rabbi Me'av, one time Rabbi had stomach pain. Amar, he said, Kulam yesh adam l'deyat. Anybody know? Yain tapachim shazachim asur mutar is the apple cider of a goy. Mutar or asur, he wants it for his belly. Amar lefnav Ishmael ben Rabbi Yosef. Pama had hash abba be'amav. He said, one time my father Rabbi Yosef also had stomach ache. They brought him 70-year-old apple cider of a goy. He drank it and became cured. Amar lo, Rabbi said, Kol kach you knew so much, and letting me suffer. Meaning, why was it kosher? It's because it was 70 years old. Because if wine was mixed inside, it wouldn't have lasted. Sure enough, Batku they looked umatzu and they found Ovet Kuchim Echad, one guy sheyalo shlosh me'ot garbei yain shetakuchim shazim shana. He had 300 barrels of 70-year-old apple cider. V'shetad the he drank it and felt better. Amar, he said, Baruch Shamakom Shem Masar El Shomrim. Blesses Hashem who handed over His world to people who and things to people who guard us by keeping things that could help other people. Okay, next part, Mishnah said, V'chein Turma, same thing, Turma. Gemara says, "Ma v'chein Turma?" What does that mean? Marav Sheshat, V'chein lekohen ha'ashudim kor Turma l'shem halin. The same thing applies to Kohen. He suspected that he sells his Turma as regular chulin. Okay? It's very hard to sell Turma. You have a very limited customer base. But if you make believe it's chulin, you can sell it to anybody. Lefanav Asur, so only that which is in front of him is Asur because that's what it looks like he's selling. Aval Habab ben Asur when it's the level of it came from his storage and the basket's mutar. Why? He's afraid. Because if Hamim hear that he'll be swapping out the Cholin Terumah from the stockpile from his storage house, they'll confiscate his entire storage house. Then he's really gonna miss out. Therefore, he doesn't want to mess with that, but he might mess with what he has on the table in front of him. Kol Hatzel Mimasri Nu Mishnah. All images of people are asur. We have to worry about Avodah Zarah. Because they usually worship them one time a year. They had their season when they worship each type of statue. They don't matter. They know. It's not asur. Only if he has a staff in his hand that shows rulership. Or if he has a bird or kadur or like a ball. Rashba Gomer. Anything in the hand is asur for benefit. We'll see why. Whereas Eid bin Adin if Hachmim said if it's worshipped once a year, my time why would I say it's mutar? It's worshipped. It's only worshipped one time a year, it's mutar. Why? Doesn't make sense. I'm already talking about it. Rabbi Yochanan, Biblical Moshe, Rabbi Meir, in the place of Rabbi Meir, Hayu Abdino Tzad Pam Chabashna, they only worship every image once a year. Rabbi Meir, the Hash Me'ut, and the Meir would be concerned, and we said this before, he would keep in mind that we go according to the minority of people. And therefore we see that uh, the mayor hold that you shouldn't have benefited from the other images based off of this image. But I don't know the to make that I'm not worried from the minority people, and therefore and therefore he didn't make other places asur just because of that one place. Marut Marshmuel. Be'antate, the Shemachim was only my case, the statues of kings, not any images. What about dead kings usually? Amar Baba Rahana Mar Yochanan. He says, Ba'umdin al Perach Medina Shnei, this only applies to images at the entrance of the city. That's Avodah Zarah, not other places. Amar Abba says no. Mahloka b'shel kifarim. It only applies when the statues are by the villages. Ava b'shel karakim, but by the cities. David Akom Tnei Beis Mutar. My time why Lenoi Avdu because by the city it's for just for beauty, not for worship. Gemara says no. With the regarding villages, mi iklam andamar legoy ka'avdu. What for the villagers? They're not doing it for beautiful, for not decoration. They're definitely making it for Avodah Zarah by the villages. Rashi says, okay, no, let's fix it. Regarding the cities, machloket. By the villages is for sure for Avodah Zarah. No one's making decorations for a small village, and therefore it is asur. Next, Hamim in Nasrin. Hamim said that images are not asur unless he's holding something. Makel, why is this stick considered something that probably does it up? Because the images are showing that he's ruling over the world with his staff. Tzipor, bird. Because he's holding, it's as if he's holding the world like a person holds a bird. Kadur la ball. He's holding himself like a person. He's holding the world like a person holds a ball. That shows power. That's why we assume that it's Avodah Zarah. Right, all these, by the way, the Gemara mentions it inside out because it's making fun of the Avodah Zarah. The language makes each one under the world, not holding the world, because it's making fun. Okay, Tanabad says, Hostifu Lahim, we also added the following three objects: Sayef, Atara, Vetabat, sword, crown, and ring. Why? Sayef, in case of a sword, Ma'ikras, for Lemesti Balma, because maybe he's holding a sword because he's like a robber. The famous legendary robber. Then they realize, no, it's a sword. Why? Because this Avodah it's as if he could kill the whole world. Next, Atara crown. Maybe you initially thought it was like a regular tiara. But subsequently then realized it's a crown for the king. Tabat ring. Maybe we thought it was just like a signet ring, nothing big deal. But subsequently then they realized that this Avodah Zarah can signet and seal the world with death if he wanted to, right? So all these things are showing why we consider them Avodah Zarah, because they were worshipped Avodah Zarah for these purposes. There's a sword, this Avodah Zarah has a sword, he could kill the world like that. Okay. As Brad American said, anything with in the hand. Tanabrat says, I feel sword, but I feel kisem, even a pebble or even a piece of wood is a sort of benefit Avodah Zarah, because maybe he's holding a pebble to show that everything in the world to compare it to him is like a pebble. Mora says, one second, anything he's holding, Tafaz bidot. So if he's holding dung, defecation, excrement in his hand, ma what's halacha? Is that a sword? Why? So maybe we're saying that the whole world's considered like excrement compared to Avodah Zarah, and therefore it to be a sword. Or maybe no. Maybe this thing is disgusting to everyone, like defecation, excrement, and therefore it should not be a sword. The Gemara says teku. We don't answer it. Men to men.